Hi guys, this is Ashley from functionalmovementhacks.com. Today we're going to be talking about tight ankles. Tight ankles are often what CrossFitters complain of for holding back the depth of their squat, particularly the pistol squat. The reason for this is that you require pretty much full dorsiflexion, which is the act of drawing the toe towards the knee, like so. And the reason is, for a pistol squat, you require pretty much a full dorsiflexion to shift your weight sufficiently forwards to counterbalance the rest of your body going back as you drop down into that squat. So the first thing we need to do when addressing tight ankles is to identify that this is actually the restriction that's holding back your squat depth. Quite often people will attribute their restriction in squat depth to tight ankles, when actually the thing that's holding them back is further up the chain, usually in the hip. So it's a very simple test to ascertain whether you have enough dorsiflexion or not. It's called the wall test. All we're going to do is put our foot up against the wall, square on, that's important, and reach forward, touch our knee against the wall. This should be pretty easy when your toes touching the wall, and then we're just going to gradually move our foot back an inch at a time, just to make sure we can still touch the wall. And we're going to look for the gap between your toe and the wall to be about 4 inches. Like so, this is about 4 inches. Just lean forwards and gently touch the wall. Heels shouldn't really raise, so a bit tight in the calves today for me. If you haven't got 4 inches, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, I've got a great drill which I think will help you out. Okay guys, a quick anatomy lesson for you now. To gain full dorsiflexion, the bones in the feet need to move in such a way that they create a space for the tib fib or shin bone to drop into the foot. This allows the full range of dorsiflexion. If the bones don't move, you essentially get a blocker here which stops the shin bone dropping into the foot, and you can't get full dorsiflexion. So how is this movement triggered? It starts in the calcaneus, which is usually the first bone to strike the floor in any sort of gait, but also, see, our main point of contact during a squat or any lift like that. The required movement in the calcaneus is eversion. So in the left foot, this will mean the heel bone needs to tilt right. So if you imagine it here, the heel bone needs to tilt this way to create the space for the tib fib to drop into. There's other bones involved, but we don't need to know about that right now. And what we commonly see in a lot of our athletes is, through wearing stiff shoes or high heels for the ladies, they never really experience this sensation of eversion. So the heels get tight, the bones don't move, the tib fib can't drop into the foot, and then they can't dorsiflex. So all we need to do is encourage this movement of eversion in the calcaneus, which will then allow full dorsiflexion. So bear that in mind when we talk about the drill just now, is we're trying to encourage a tilt inwards, so the left foot tilting right in the foot to promote dorsiflexion during our squat. To perform this release, we're going to be shoes off again, as we have been throughout the whole exercise, and we're trying to promote eversion in the calcaneus. So we're going to be working on the right foot in this drill, and all we're going to do is use some sort of prop, in this case a small weight plate, to raise the outside of the calcaneus, which encourages that eversion. So we're opening up the angle on the inside of the ankle by stepping onto this plate. So all we're going to do here is just step onto it, half of our foot on, half of our foot off, plate on the outside of the foot, step through and drive the knee forwards into dorsiflexion. So this is just getting the bones used to the sequence that needs to happen in the foot, which is calcaneus everts, then dorsiflexion. And so all we're going to do is do about 10 reps like this, and we can further progress the drill to promote even more dorsiflexion by externally rotating our foot. So rather than being here, evens, we can turn our foot slightly out, and that will just open up that internal angle that little bit more. And you can feel the difference when your foot is in this position. your knee can just travel a lot further forwards because those bones are just getting out of the way, and your tibia and fibula can just drop right into that foot. After about 10 reps like this, the final progression is driving the knee inwards. So this is called valgus knee position, which we want to avoid when we're squatting heavy weights, but right now it's absolutely fine. So heel half on, half off, toe out, knee in. And this is kind of the biomechanically most advantageous position to maximize dorsiflexion. Your toe out, drive that eversion, and then knee forwards. And we want to be doing this at a speed that replicates how we lift. So it's not too slowly, under control, but using all three of those variables to really drive that dorsiflexion. Once you've done 10 reps straight, 10 reps foot externally rotated, 10 reps foot externally rotated and knee in, go ahead, retry the wall test, see if your range has improved. Hopefully that'll have made a big difference and you'll be able to feel it pretty much straight away. I can feel that right now my right ankle is already loosened up compared to my left. Give it a try and let me know how you get on.